You wake up in America. The alarm clock rings. You turn it off. This is not your real name. This is not your real life. Outside, people go to work. They drink coffee. They smile. You watch them from the window. None of them know who you are. You are not here to live. You are here to wait. Somewhere far away, a man you will never meet can give one order. If that order comes, this country will become your battlefield. You were chosen long before you came here, before America, before the passport, before the new name. You were a student. You did well in school, too well. A man noticed you, then another one. They asked questions, not many, but they listened to how you answered. They checked your family, your friends, your habits. You were not special. You were suitable. One day you were invited somewhere. No signs, no flags, just a building. Inside, they told you nothing. They only watched. How you sit, how you stay silent, how you react when you are uncomfortable. You passed the first test. You never knew there was a test. From that moment, your life no longer belonged only to you. They did not take you by force. They explained everything calmly. Too calmly. They said it was a duty. They said it was important. They said you were needed. You did not say yes. You were never asked. After that, things began to disappear. First, your past. Your school records were changed. Your files were sealed. Then, your future. You were redirected, quietly. You saw your family less, not because you wanted to, because it was arranged that way. Phone calls became short. Letters stopped. One day, you realized something. If you disappeared, no one would ask questions. That was not an accident. From this moment on, your real life moved underground. Training begins quietly. No shouting, no uniforms, no slogans, just rooms, voices, repetition. You learn to listen more than you speak. You learn to answer without emotion. They teach you how to remember details, faces, numbers, small changes in tone. You study America, its history, its jokes, its habits. You learn how Americans walk, how they sit, how they complain. You practice smiling, not too much, not too little. You learn when to speak and when silence is safer. At night, you write reports about nothing, about everything. They test you without warning, a sudden question, a strange situation, a false friend. You fail sometimes. Failure is not punished. It is noted, and you are corrected. Slowly, your old reactions disappear. A new reflex takes their place. Think less, observe more. By the time the training ends, you no longer ask who you are becoming. You already know. One day, they give you a folder. Inside is your new life. A birth certificate, a school history, medical records. Everything is clean. Everything is boring. That is important. Your new name feels strange at first. You practice it, out loud, in your head. They teach you how you grew up, where you played, what music you liked. You repeat it until it feels normal. Then they destroy your old file. Not in front of you. You only hear about it. You understand the message. There is no way back. Before you leave, they give you rules. Do not stand out. Do not hurry. Do not act like a spy. The best cover is a normal life. Then comes the flight. No goodbye, no ceremony, just a plane, a seat, a passport. When you land, you are already someone else. America welcomes you. No one stops you. No one looks twice. That means it worked. At first, everything feels unreal. The streets are wide, The shops are full. People talk too much. You get a job. Nothing important. That is the point. You learn your routine. Wake up, work, small talk. You make friends, not close ones, just enough. You laugh at jokes you do not find funny. You talk about weather, about sports. At night, you listen, sometimes to the radio, sometimes to silence. Weeks pass, then months, then years. Nothing happens. That is success. You send messages that say nothing. You receive answers that mean nothing, but you understand them. Every sound matters. Every change matters. A new neighbor, a different car, a question asked twice. You never relax. Waiting becomes your real job. You start to forget which life is real. The cover feels natural. The mission feels distant. That is the danger. One evening, something changes. Not outside, inside. The radio plays as usual. Music, news, noise. Then a phrase appears. It sounds normal. It is meant to sound normal. No one else notices, but you freeze. You have heard these words before, years ago, in another place. This is not an order, not yet. This is a check. Your heart rate stays calm. Your face stays neutral. You wait. Nothing happens that night. The next day, a man talks to you at work. Too friendly, too curious. He asks about your past, small details. You answer correctly. He smiles, writes nothing down. That night, the radio speaks again. A second phrase. Now you are sure. The system is awake. And so are you. After that, you feel watched. Maybe you always were. Now you notice it. A car parks near your house, then leaves. A stranger looks at you for half a second too long. At work, someone asks the same question again, in a different way. You answer the same way, exactly the same. At night, you do not sleep well. You replay conversations, faces, pauses. You correct yourself in your head. Did I speak too fast? Did I smile too late? You change nothing. Changing behavior is a mistake. You remember the rule. If you feel pressure, act normal. Pressure means you are close to something, or someone is close to you. You stop trusting coincidence. Every small detail becomes a test. You do not panic. You were trained for this. The order does not come loudly. No call, no knock on the door. It comes the same way as before. A voice on the radio, a sentence inside a sentence. This time, it names a person. Not a description, not a target profile, a real name, a real face. You understand immediately. This is not observation. This is not collection. This is removal. You do not ask how. You were trained for that part. You only register the fact. Someone must not exist anymore. You do not feel anger. You do not feel fear. Only acceptance. The waiting is over. You know when it must be done. You know the limit. After that, this life continues as if nothing happened. The life you built does not disappear. It freezes. You go to work the next day. You smile. You talk about nothing. Inside, one task should be completed. One file should be closed. You are no longer waiting. You are active. The mission is still not dramatic. That is what makes it dangerous. You do not rush. You do not improvise. You observe the person you were given. From a distance, then closer. You learn his routine, where he sits, what he drinks, who he trusts. You are already near him in ways that look normal. Same building, same elevator, same table. You wait for the correct moment, not the perfect one, the normal one. One evening, the chance appears. Nothing special, nothing suspicious. Your hand moves without thought. You stop, not because you are afraid, because something is wrong. A look, a pause, a detail that should not be there. You do nothing. The moment passes. No reaction, no alarm. That is worse. You walk away calmly. You breathe normally. At home, you replay everything. You understand the rule again. If you are noticed, the mission is already over. You adjust. You slow down. You wait for another opening. A good agent is invisible. A great agent leaves no moment behind. You continue. The second order comes sooner than expected. Same voice, same calm tone, no explanation, just confirmation. You understand the first chance is gone. This time, there will be no delay. The name is the same, so is the meaning. You do not feel relief. You feel focus. You see him again days later. The setting is ordinary, too ordinary. People talk nearby, glasses on the table, noise. You sit close enough to be normal. You wait for the moment that looks accidental. Nothing forced, nothing sudden. Your movement is small, almost invisible. No one reacts. Conversation continues, laughter. You finish your drink, he finishes his. You leave first. Outside, the street is the same. Cars pass, lights change. Later, the news is quiet. A short line, no details. An unexpected medical incident. You read it once, then you forget it. The file is closed. No message comes after. That is the answer. You go to work the next day. You smile. You talk about nothing. The mission is complete. No one will ever connect it to you. That means it worked. After that, nothing follows. No signal. No confirmation, no praise. That is expected. Days pass. Nothing happens. Then you notice the change. The pressure is gone. No repeated questions, no unexpected conversations. At night, the radio plays. Music. Only music. No phrases, no patterns. You understand what that means. The task is finished. The system has moved on. Or you have. You destroy nothing. You erase nothing. That would draw attention. You keep everything the same. That is the final rule. You go to work. You pay bills. You grow older. The name you live under remains valid. Somewhere far away, a file with your real name is closed. Not burned, not deleted, just archived. You are not active. You are not free. You are stored. Years pass. America feels normal now. Too normal. You have memories that are not yours. Holidays, faces, small routines. They feel real. Sometimes you try to remember who you were before. It does not work. That person no longer exists. Moscow does not call. America does not suspect. You are invisible to both. That is the perfect result. You were not a hero. You were not a traitor. You were a function, a switch that stayed off. Most sleeper agents never wake up. They live normal lives. They die normal deaths. No one ever knows. And maybe that is the point. Now, this life is over. You stayed invisible. You were never discovered. No medals, no history books, only silence. But history does not end. You can wake up again, in another system, in another role. Write in the comments which POV you want for the next videos. Until the next life. End of communication.